What's going on, y'all? It's your boy H-Dog, and I'm back here with another video. And as yesterday, on top of the Death Stranding news, Need for Speed, well, one of the people who is the community manager for Need for Speed, Ben Walkie, he went to Reddit and had a brand new Under the Hood. It was called Turning Up the Heat, which could, to me, reference heat levels in terms of cops, or it could just be referring to the summertime. But he took to Reddit. He had a whole Reddit post, basically going into detail about, the 25th, 26th anniversary of Need for Speed, how customization was a vital part of Need for Speed, because without it, there would be no Need for Speed, and to announce that Need for Speed won't be showed off at EA Play. They have nothing to show for the month of June, and that they will be going down south, which pretty much points to them going to Gamescom and showing off this new Need for Speed. And Ben went into detail how they're breaking tradition with this new Need for Speed, it's clear as a bell that they are, because the past 3 Need for Speed games have all been leaked or announced in the month of May in their respective launch years. And it would always be like a significant gap between that announcement and its release date. But I'm wondering if what they're trying to do is, if they're trying to do something like what Ubisoft did with Far Cry New Dawn and announce it and say in a couple months the game's out or something like that. Which honestly, on paper, I kinda wouldn't want them to do that, because you kinda need to build up hype, so to speak, unless if you have that much faith in your IP to sell pretty decently, at least, to just announce it and then, oh, it's coming out in a couple months, which is cool. And he did go into detail about how they're breaking tradition. So if they're breaking tradition with the teaser, with an official announcement, then they probably may break tradition with the release date as well. Mainly that every Need for Speed has mainly released in November. So it kind of begs the question, is it going to be earlier? Is it going to be later? I really think if it's earlier. As far as the month of September goes, the only thing I know is coming out in September is Borderlands 3. October, we don't know what's coming out for October, so that's a good possibility. Now, if they do stick with the typical release date, since my birthday month, November, been looking pretty hot right now, with Death Stranding setting it ablaze and Jedi Fallen Order on my birthday. Granted, I don't think that Need for Speed should launch anywhere near Death Stranding. Like, I think if it has to launch in November, after Death Stranding, like, between after Death Stranding's out and the rest of the month, pretty much. Which I don't think they would do something like releasing it on the same day as Jedi Fallen Order, because you would have the same exact scenario you had with Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. Like, you have both of your games out releasing on the same day, which I wouldn't mind, because it's my birthday, and that would just flabbergast my birthday. Which they could push it to like a late November type of thing. Now, if they wanted to put the release date back, I think it would possibly be best suited for December, since typically every year December is always a slow month along with the summer months. And there's really not a big blockbuster. I ain't gonna say big blockbuster, but I'll say there ain't been a big release for a big. There isn't typically like a crowded month. It's typically not crowded within that month. So I think that would be a perfect breeding ground for a release date. Now, when we can see this is the big question, because I don't think we're gonna wait all the way till August just to see Need for Speed. I think since he did say that they're not going to be doing anything for the month of June, they ain't got nothing planned for this month. I mean, well, you might as well say this month because May's damn near over. You could say that it's possible they could wait till July and start teasing stuff. Because if I'm not mistaken, no, that was early May. Well, they could do something like what they would do in the month of May, where they would have these teasers, these vignettes, so to speak, in early July, and then next month at Gamescom, or maybe early August, where they have an official announcement, a teaser trailer, and then a Gamescom reveal along with its release date. Now, I know earlier in the year, Andrew Wilson did mention that the focus on this year's Need for Speed is the cop versus racer fantasy, which is cool because I like that, but at the same time, I didn't report it back then because it was from Andrew Wilson, not from the developers themselves. But I digress. I think that, honestly, when you can look at this generation of Need for Speed games, they haven't been great. None of them have been great. Unless if you're someone who's really young and starting to get into Need for Speed by like we was back in the PS2 era, then hell, this generation is probably excellent for you. But in terms of this gen's Need for Speeds, they aren't as good as the Need for Speeds we had last gen and the generation before. And then on top of that, they came out every year. And I'm not saying that all of these Need for Speeds are trash. It's just Payback was a good game. It was a mid game. It was a 7 out of 10. It had a good amount of problems with that game, which I went on record talking about before. I think that in terms of what this new entry can do, make the cops in the free roam open world. That was the biggest complaint for me. Now, the story I didn't think was that bad. That's why I kind of felt like it was an underrated game because of the story. You had Nina Navarro, but Nina Navarro, you kind of seen that shit coming. But if we're being honest, Payback was the best game, Need for Speed game we've had this generation. And that may not be saying much, but I'm just saying. I would love and hope that this new Need for Speed is going to Tokyo, because I feel like that's an interesting setting. Like, you have all the mountains in that country, you could drift around the corners very swift, all sorts of crazy shit. All I know is I can't wait till the next Need for Speed. And if you want to read the full blog post, I will post a link to it in the description box. And tell me what you think about Need for Speed not being an EA play. Are you cool with that? Are you not? Let me know in the comments below. What would you like to see in the next Need for Speed? Or are you even a fan of Need for Speed at all? But yeah, till next time, I'm out. Y'all already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Peace.